Welcome to Storylines, AIA Pennsylvania's conversation space, where we will be talking about architecture and design, highlighting interesting ideas, locations, and approaches. In this inaugural conversation, we're going to spotlight the remarkable women designing the future of Pennsylvania's architecture by holding leadership roles at AIA Pennsylvania. Today, we're celebrating the inspiring female members of our board of directors, women whose expertise, vision, and dedication continue to shape the future of our association and architecture in Pennsylvania. Behind every strong association, there's a strong leadership team, and at AIA Pennsylvania, we are privileged to have outstanding women guiding our mission. Let's meet these inspiring leaders. As principal at Lenhart Rogers Architecture and Interior Design, Jamie Ober has dedicated nearly 20 years to advancing the architectural profession. Her leadership in major educational, institutional, civic, and commercial projects showcases her expertise. Jamie is passionate about equity, diversity, and inclusion and continues to advocate for these issues through her work on multiple AIA committees. As a project architect at Crabtree, Rohrbaugh & Associates, Elisha Mickelson is deeply committed to mentorship and the growth of emerging professionals. She has been a member of AIA Pennsylvania's EPIC Committee and is now president-elect of the AIA-PA Board of Directors. She is also involved with the local ACE chapter and believes in fostering dialogue on the future of architecture. A partner at MGA Partners Architects, Katie Bro specializes in academic and cultural projects, working with top institutions like the University of Pennsylvania and Indiana University. She is an active leader in the arts and education community, serving on multiple boards and committees and teaching design studios at Drexel University. Anastasia Marcu is a project manager for Design Group in Pittsburgh. She is a leader in healthcare architecture and has served in various leadership roles within the AIA, including as the AIA National Young Architect Forum Advocacy Director and the AIA-PA Young Architect Representative. Her dedication to mentoring young architects and advocating for diversity has earned her the AIA-PA Young Architect Award. An associate and project architect at GBBN, Mel Nagami is dedicated to community development and higher education projects. She has worked to support minority architects through NOMA Pittsburgh and has mentored students at the University of Pittsburgh and Carnegie Mellon University. She was honored with the AIA-PA Associate Award in 2022. Cassandra Marks is an architectural designer at Barden Partners and a dedicated advocate for emerging professionals. She serves on the AIA-PA Board of Directors and has been recognized for her leadership, winning first place in the U.S. Department of Energy Solar Decathlon. She is passionate about making architecture more accessible and helping young professionals navigate the field. Christine Mondor is a principal at Evolve EA and a national leader in sustainable and equitable design. She has worked on projects ranging from affordable housing to green infrastructure and was elevated to the AIA College of Fellows in 2019. Her commitment to shaping the built environment extends to her leadership roles in AIA Pittsburgh and AIA Pennsylvania. Founding principal at 15, Jill Levine leads building performance and sustainability efforts, ensuring high quality and environmentally responsible design. With a background in architecture and construction management, she works closely with engineers and project consultants to push sustainable building practices forward. As principal at Altra Studio LLC, Mary Schuler leads design and business development while also being an advocate for sustainability, currently pursuing a Master's of Science in Sustainable Design. She has experience in hospitality, retail, residential, and educational architecture, and is the immediate past president of AIA Bucks County chapter. Every great leader has a story. I sat down with Jamie Ober, AIA-PA board president, while we were at the AIA Leadership Summit in Washington, D.C., to learn hers.
Hi everyone, I'm Amira Weiss. I'm the new Chief Communications Visionary and Storyteller with AIA Pennsylvania, and I'm here with Jamie Ober, AIA, NCARB, and Lead AP. She is our 2025 AIA-PA Board President, and we're just going to chat a little bit about Jamie's story. That my title includes Storyteller, and that's something I really want to focus on. So thanks for hanging out with me for a few minutes. We're here at the AIA Leadership Conference down in Washington, D.C. So we wanted to do this little introduction for the new board president. So Jamie, how did you decide first on architecture as a career?
Sure. Great question. I did post a little story on my LinkedIn page about
growing up on a dairy farm as a kid, and moving forward on that story, my family moved off the farm when I was about in 5th grade. I started drawing the houses at the neighborhood next to my parents' house, and I would go up and knock on the door and ask the parents if I could babysit for them. So I was already hustling, as a young kid, but it was my way of like introducing myself to them and making some babysitting money. And my one friend at school told our teacher that I was doing that. And I got called in and I thought I was gonna get in trouble.
Right.
And it turns out she's like, oh, you should look into being an architect. And I had no reference point for that. I didn't even know what that was. Okay. But it was really a pivotal moment in my childhood when I learned about this possible thing of being an architect. And
oh, how cool.
followed that through. So
yeah, it'll just take somebody to plant the seed.
Yep,
right?
Exactly. Yep.
And then what led you to AIA initially?
That's a great question. And definitely the shout outs here. Jeff Patzfa was one of the first people that I met through Denise. She introduced me to him at the Design Philadelphia conference years ago, and kind of paralleling that with Rebecca Johnson nominating me to be on the state committee. And from there, it's led to here.
Oh, great. And then, you talked a little bit about this, but your path to AIA leadership, obviously, like you are the new board president for this year. So what are some of your priorities and focuses, going forward into this year, and some initiatives you want to lean into a little bit?
Okay, great. Yeah, it's very rich soil here at the AIA State. I'm definitely passionate about the value of the architect and how we are greater together. I didn't necessarily seek this out, but I found myself being in the position of women in a leadership role. We were able to establish a women scholarship. We're going into our 4th year now, which is pretty awesome. So I want to continue to build out and evolve that support network for women that are looking to move into leadership positions. So I'm very passionate about that.
Yeah.
And also really passionate about the wellness of architecture, the health of the environment. That's a very far-reaching, topic. We can talk about everything from, sustainability of materials we select, to the daylight of spaces, to the emotional well-being of people.
Right.
And there's a lot to dig into relative to that topic. So that's something I'm really passionate about exploring this year.
Yeah. I'm talking about just daylight. We've spent the last 2 days, five stories below the earth. So this is like so nice to be in this atrium.
Yes.
But thank you so much. And this is such a great opportunity to get to connect with everybody. So looking forward to sharing this with everybody.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks. Research shows that diverse leadership drives innovation and success. Our female board members have not only excelled in their careers, but have also paved the way for future generations. They are continuing the legacy of female leadership within AIA National, which is reflected in the election of 8 female board presidents since 1993. R. Randall Vosbeck, FAIA, in his preface to A Legacy of Leadership, the Presidents of the American Institute of Architects, said, "As the Institute has historically been run as a representative democracy, in many ways AIA presidents have reflected the values, beliefs, concerns, and aspirations of the membership as a whole. The presidents as leaders have also helped to shape the values and mission of the organization. Although they have much in common, each president found his or her own direction through the AIA leadership pathways, and each was motivated by his or her own personal passions, a sense of social and professional responsibility, and a love of architecture. Together, their efforts have been instrumental in creating the culture of the professional society. We're proud to have these incredible women paving the way for our female leadership at AIA Pennsylvania. Their dedication, expertise, and vision are invaluable." Thank you for listening to Storylines. Subscribe to get notified when next month's conversation drops about a piece of legislation 20 years in the making.